All right, so we are well on our way to the road to WrestleMania, which means that titles will be changing hands. So in this video, I will be going over who I think is going to be the next world champion for all four of the world titles in WWE. So let's dive right in. All right, so let's start with the Women's World Champion. Your current champion at time of recording is Stephanie Vaquer. Now, we don't know who she's going to be facing at WrestleMania quite yet. Again, this is at time of recording. Your Royal Rumble winner, who was Liv Morgan, she will be making her decision at some point. I am 99.9% confident that Liv Morgan will pick Stephanie Vaquer. And Liv Morgan is my pick to become your next Women's World Champion in WWE. Steph will be facing a heel because she's one of your bigger baby faces. And I just can't see a road really where they decide to go with Liv versus Jade Cargill, because you do have the option of a Tiffany Stratton, you've got an option of a Jordynne Grace if Bianca Belair is somehow healthy for WrestleMania. And again, I don't think all four of these titles will not change hands at WrestleMania. So it's tough to figure out when they're going to change hands, because I think two of them will change hands at WrestleMania. I don't think you're going to go with two of your top heels and two of maybe your best women's heels in Liv Morgan and Jade Cargill. Doesn't make sense, right? So I feel very confident that Liv will be challenging Steph at WrestleMania. Maybe that match gets turned into a triple threat with Raquel somehow, some way. Maybe Raquel wins the Elimination Chamber and then she wants in on that match, because in the coming weeks, maybe that her and Liv Morgan's relationship kind of just gets a bit more rocky. Obviously, Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel from the Royal Rumble, so it'll be interesting to see how that situation plays out. But I do think that Liv Morgan will be your next WWE Women's World Champion. All right, so let's talk about the Men's World Heavyweight Championship. And at time of recording, your current champion is CM Punk. Now, he will be defending his title at Elimination Chamber. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because it's in Chicago. He is going to be on the card, and he will be defending it against Finn Balor. I saw this one coming after CM Punk and Roman Reigns' promo, because before CM Punk even got started on Roman Reigns, he first addressed Finn Balor. Finn wasn't able to make it into the Royal Rumble because all of the spots were filled, allegedly. So he decided to come out on Monday Night Raw, I think last week or the week before by the time this is out. And he basically just said, I want a title shot against CM Punk. Adam Pearce was like, no way, that's not happening. I'm not doing that. Punk said, it's going to happen or I'm going to make your life hell. The match got made for Elimination Chamber. No shot Finn Balor wins this title at Elimination Chamber. So I think we are going forth with CM Punk being your champion heading into WrestleMania, and he will be defending his title against the OTC, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. This title's changing hands. This may be the match that I feel most confident about of the outcome. Roman Reigns is winning Big Gold 2.0 at WrestleMania, and you've got to think, this will do wonders for the World Heavyweight Championship, the B prize in WWE. I know nobody likes to call it that, but that's just how it feels and that's how it is. But if Roman Reigns wins it, they're going to start to close that gap between the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship. So this is a big one. Roman Reigns needs to win this match. I think he absolutely will win this match, and he's going to look damn good with Big Gold 2.0 on his shoulder. All right, so let's talk about the Women's WWE Championship. Now, this title, it's a bit more wide open. I felt pretty confident about Bianca Belair returning at the Royal Rumble, which she didn't. I'm assuming she's still injured. I don't pay too much attention to like dirt sheets or anything, but hopefully everything's going okay with her on the injury front, because she, when healthy, She is a top 2 women's wrestler on the planet, point blank period. It's that simple. I'll argue with anybody all day about that. But now we don't necessarily have a challenger. Jade Cargill is defending her title against Jordynne Grace, which that match should have already happened. Jade Cargill's winning that match. That match has not happened at time of recording, but Jade Cargill will win that match. And I think that sets up for her match at WrestleMania, because I think that Jordynne Grace will win the Women's Elimination Chamber, and I think she's going to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, but I don't think she's going to win. I think Jade Cargill probably cheated to beat Jordynne Grace on SmackDown, and then Jordynne Grace goes to Nick Aldis and is like, I want another opportunity. You got to put me up against her again because she cheated to win. Nick Aldis is like, that's not how it works. I'll put you in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. You're going to have to win the chamber if you want a shot at Jade Cargill, and then I think Jordynne Grace will win the Elimination Chamber. So, who is going to beat Jade Cargill for the Women's WWE Championship? I mean, again, you've got someone like a Tiffany Stratton, who I mentioned earlier, who I don't really want to see her win this title because it just feels like that was the last feud with Jade Cargill, right? Jade Cargill had a nice feud with Tiffany Stratton, and then she ultimately beat her for the championship, and then it's kind of just been Jade Cargill just beating everybody's butts every week, except for Jordynne Grace, who, after she got called up, she kind of is the one to really step up and potentially made it seem like Jade Cargill is almost afraid of her because she wasn't giving her that match until it got made official for Friday Night SmackDown. So, yes, Jordynne Grace could win this title at WrestleMania, but I feel pretty confident that Liv and CM Punk, or that Liv and Roman Reigns, will win the world titles at WrestleMania, and I don't think they're going to have 3 of the world titles change hands at WrestleMania. So, man, who is going to win this Women's WWE Championship? I truly believe that they are just going to keep it on Jade until Bianca's ready to go. And Bianca will be the person to take it off of Jade Cargill. That makes the most sense. They don't have a ton of threats to Jade Cargill currently. Obviously, Jordynne Grace is fresh and exciting and new, so we'll see how that goes. But outside of her and, I guess Tiffany Stratton, there's not a ton of competition for the WWE Championship for the women on Friday Night SmackDown, so I don't think they're going to necessarily rush into this, nor should they. Jade Cargill should be your champion for a long time, right? That's just the way she's being presented. That's the way she's getting booked. She is dominant. She is the best she's ever been in WWE. Maybe Naomi, whenever she comes back, she's the one to take it off her. I don't know if they're going to keep her as a heel or a babyface when she returns, because that will be one of the instances where everybody's just excited for when people return. So it could be hard to immediately have her come back as a heel when everybody's just going to cheer her. But maybe that's a triple threat match that gets booked for later in this year. Survivor Series maybe, SummerSlam maybe even, if everybody's good and ready to go. So I think Bianca Belair is going to be your next WWE Women's Champion. They're just going to wait. They're truly going to wait until she is good to go, ready to go, and they're just going to bring her back because it kind of seems like she is the only person who can beat Jade Cargill right now. And they could easily go to Tiffany Stratton. I'm praying to the wrestling gods that they don't, but fortunately, I think there's a decent shot that they may do Tiff versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. All right, lastly, we've got the Men's WWE Championship. You've got your current champion, Drew McIntyre, who's in a bit of an interesting story because he's been costing Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu. He's been running and ducking those 3. He's just coming off absolutely pummeling Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble. So trying to figure out who's going to beat Drew is quite tricky because you've got Jacob Fatu, you've got Cody Rhodes, you've got Sami Zayn. It's going to be one of those 3 I feel pretty good about. But then you also have somebody like Randy Orton. You've got somebody, I mean, it may seem like a far chance, but Trick Williams, I wouldn't be surprised If, like, I wouldn't completely count him out, but I think he's probably in like the 1 to 3% chance of that happening. But I have a weird feeling that Sami Zayn is going to beat Drew McIntyre for this WWE Championship. I think it's going to be between him and Jacob Fatu. Now, I know about 5 minutes ago I said they're not going to have 3 titles change hands. I changed my mind because the fact that they put Sami Zayn, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match triple threat on Friday Night SmackDown, which that match has already happened by the time this is out, makes me think that there's a really good shot that those 3 men get involved at the WWE Championship. I think Jacob Fatu wins that triple threat match, but I think that Cody and Sami kind of get their way into that match to make it a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania. And I think probably part of the reason that Sami Zayn lost at the Royal Rumble was to give him his moment at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be completely surprised if Drew holds this title after WrestleMania, because I would like to see him have a nice, healthy, long title run, but I don't know. I just have a weird feeling. I would be very surprised if Sami Zayn isn't involved in this WWE Championship storyline heading into WrestleMania, because why put him in this triple threat match if they weren't going to have him get involved for the title? And I also have a big question mark over Sami Zayn. Like, what are we doing with Sami Zayn? He, early on in the year, in January, he said, this is the year that I stopped saying I'm going to win a world title. I'm going to actually do it. Fast forward to 2 or 3 weeks to the Royal Rumble, and he loses, and not only loses, but he came about as close as you can get to a squash without it being a squash. He got absolutely pummeled at the Royal Rumble. So I think that in order for him to redeem himself, he could even win this triple threat match, right? Like Drew McIntyre could cost Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes this match. Maybe Cody and Jacob kind of get too focused on each other, and Sami Zayn is able to capitalize. That will be a lot of fun. I don't know what they would do. Maybe they do Sami versus Drew and then Jacob versus Cody. There's also a chance that Cody could just not be involved in this title, and he unfortunately could end up facing Brock Lesnar. So there's a lot of different ways that they could do this. I'm really interested to watch this triple threat match on SmackDown. So it's already happened by the time you're watching this. So let me know your thoughts about that triple threat match in the comments down below. And make sure to comment who you think is going to be the next champion for all 4 of the world titles in WWE. With that being said, make sure to smash that subscribe button, like this video, and ring that bell so you get notified every single time that we upload a new video. I'll catch you in the next one.